Hello, 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 and welcome to the Dumpling Difference Discussion Show, episode 10. I am Holly Camp, Savvy Shopper Delivers, and my handsome host next to me is Steve, Rideshare Rodeo, and we are here to talk about dumpling, all things dumpling, and whatever else just spurts out of our mouth today.
I thought we had an intro. So I was having that drink of coffee because I thought we had don't we have an intro? Didn't you
We
make us
usually
an
do the
intro?
countdown thing, but since we were late, I didn't do the countdown.
No, I mean I thought you made us an intro.
No.
Oh.
I just usually do the countdown when we go live. I have the outro.
I think that's maybe what it is. Okay.
Yeah. And last week I forgot to end the live first, and so I hit end on the outro, and then you see me like for a minute go.
That happens all the time. So I always just sit there until I see the thumbs up on whatever you're streaming to go to gray. Because until they're gray, you're still gonna get caught.
Gotcha.
So it's
good to know. All right, so what do we have going on?
Let's do 101. I think people need it. There's you guys real quick. I just if we could say just a quick prayer to 3 people actually. So we got Marissa, my fiance's father is having open heart surgery. He had it yesterday. Looked good. I'm not very familiar with this at all, you guys, so excuse me here. But then things got very bad overnight. And we're waiting to hear from, he had to go back into OR. He's been opened up for probably about 20 hours over the past like 5 or 6 days. So it's been quite crazy. Also, David Pickerel, his mom is in prayers to her. She is in the hospital in Hong Kong, and prayers to her. Hopefully everything goes well on Friday. They are a day ahead of us, so it is Wednesday there right now. So in about 48 hours, she's having her operation. And so prayers to her, as well as Tom Kelly from TNC Radio. Tom was admitted into the hospital yesterday for severe pneumonia. So prayers to him as well.
Oh no, I hate to hear that too. Why is David's mom in Hong Kong in the hospital? I mean,
that's where she's from.
Oh, she lives there.
No, she's Chinese.
No, I know, but does she live in Hong Kong or is she visiting there?
No, she lives there. Always has.
Okay. I didn't know that she lived there like all the time.
In fact, even during the pandemic, David has a visa here. So David had to go back to Hong Kong to renew his visa during the pandemic, which was a 3-week quarantine stay at a hotel at the airport, where you're not even allowed to step out of your room.
That's awful.
So he got a suite, which wasn't that big anyway, and he moved the furniture around so he had a walking path, because I was doing a lot of Zoom with him at the time. But he was like, it looked like the kind of thing that, man, this is going to wear the carpet out.
Oh, man.
Because he's like, this is my exercise.
3 weeks.
I know, like you got to realize, you guys, this was, when was it? This was like early 20, or might have even been like December 2020 when he had to do it or else go back. And they were in his service. I mean, it was like the worst time to go to China too. And that's where that he should be one of the easier slip throughs, but they were making everybody do this. And also you had to pay for these hotels on your dime. So if you wanted to go to China, this wasn't like they were free, these were nice hotels, but you were, talk about going insane. You were
what if somebody couldn't afford to do that though?
What's that?
What if they couldn't afford it?
Then you needed to fly back to I don't know. I'm sure they had, I guess if you couldn't afford it, you probably couldn't afford the flight. And at some point you'd get some documentation saying your visa's up and you wouldn't be able to renew it. So you'd still be here and you'd probably be fine. But if you ever went back, you'd be screwed. You'd never get another renewed visa. I don't know how that works. And I'm sure every government, even theirs, took into account the pandemic. But David had already run his extension and they said, yes, you need to come back.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I do remember him telling me that his mom was from there. I just didn't know if she lived there or if she lived here and was just there visiting.
No, she's she's from there.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. So Buds, we have Bud Soda in the chat, and he says that he has to set up his local dumpling shopper is delivering Walmart. I don't understand what he says. He says I got to set mine up. A local dumpling shopper is delivering Walmart to post 2. So I'm not sure what the ending of that meant. So Bud Soda, do you have another dumpling shopper in your area? Is that correct? How did Tom get pneumonia too?
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
It was a group email from all of us TNC people. So there was like 13 of us on the list.
Wow. He must be really sick if they admitted him. Okay. All right. While we're waiting on Bud to probably drop off an order at a door or something and come back. Oh, he says Spark won't deliver to any Fort Drum address. And yes, I've run into her before. So he does have another. Is there just one other shopper that you know of in your area? I did just check my zip codes again yesterday, and I'm still the only one.
But see, that's another thing I was thinking of, Holly. Are you? Because what if somebody's gone 32 days, like you had to do what you had to do this week? Like, what if somebody was in that same position and they're only a couple days over, and then they're not showing they're still an active shopper?
Right. Well, and it could be like Ashley pointed out one time that it could be somebody that has just built their business up enough that they're not wanting clients from the marketplace, so they just aren't on there. So I mean, there may be other shoppers, but what I guess I should say is, if somebody goes on there to search for a shopper, I'm the only one that's going to show up at this point. Yeah. So, and it's been that way for a long time. So I don't think it's a situation like there is someone else, because I do check periodically, but it had been a few months since I checked. So, but yeah, in the 2 years that I've been on Dumpling, and I actually got a email from them today that said, happy anniversary, because I guess it's our 2-year anniversary that I signed up with them today.
Oh, so, nice.
Woohoo! Anyway, this week was the first time that I've ever had to do a shop for my.
She's frozen. Holly, I think you froze. You might need to leave and come back. Yeah, hopefully she'll be back. You guys, so we're gonna try and roll through the 101. Like I said, with all the 3 things going on, especially Marissa's dad, I need to be done here by 10 to the hour, so 2:50 at the latest, because this is the end of my working day because of everything going on. So I've got to get to that, and that's a whole situation. I got to make calls to Tom, and it's just when I heard about David's mom and obviously Marissa's dad, it's sad, it sucks, but one of the things that came to my mind is that rule of 3s, and I was like, please no, please no, please no. And then Tom last night, I was like, crap. So prayers to all of them. Thank you guys. I appreciate you doing that. I guess Holly's out. So, maybe I should start 101, huh? I just don't want to start and she comes back in. But let me say this at least. Holly and I think we mentioned this on the last episode. She made a short out of it, in fact.
Sorry about that. Did you have some fun without me?
Yeah, I said that we had to cut it at 10 to 3 today, so let's try and move through the 101. And then I was going to say, at least wanted to start off by saying, especially right now with the volume of things and stuff, I want to see everybody that's ready for it sign up for Dumpling. But if you're not committed to it right now, pause and wait.
Yes.
because even Holly and I are going through where we're so damn busy. It's hard to even carve out an hour or two to get clients. So if you're going to put the time in, you will get the clients. At least I would. I mean, if I had more time to carve out, I could go land more clients.
Well, I certainly hope so. I have spent the time to investigate some local stores that I didn't know about. That I found one really cool cheese shop downtown that do some really cool baskets, and kind of a pricier upscale place. Looks really nice, and I'm definitely going to go down there and talk to them. So I do have a list of people to go talk to. I just have to go do it, because otherwise my summer has been extremely slow. And as I was saying before, my phone overheated and froze. In the 2 years I've been on Dumpling, I have never had to do a self order to keep
although
showing
you're supposed to, this, right? You're supposed to know the client side too.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I did one like when I first started, because you have to before you start, but you have to have an order every 30 days in order to continue to show up on the marketplace. And it had been, I hit my 30-day mark on July 7th that I had not had an order for 30 days. Mm-hmm. Now, in my defense, I was in Illinois for 10 days. So I was gone, and I would have had a big order. Actually, it was a big resort order that I would have had. But I was gone when that lady needed me. So because it had been 30 days, I didn't want to drop off and not show up to potential clients. So I just had to put in a couple things and go do a shop so I would continue to show up. That's all I was, but I haven't had to do that because I've always had orders. So this summer has just really died down, and it's a little scary, to be honest.
I mean, you guys, though, come on, let's be honest. You can say summer slowdown, and then I can argue I know markets that only do well in the summer. I know markets that do the same all year round. So I mean, like, again, market to market and all this, but right now, no matter what market you're in, you're facing inflation. You're facing, just everybody's kind of locking down a little bit. I'm not saying we're in a huge problem at the moment, but things aren't great. Yeah. I don't think that's a stretch to say that.
Like DoorDash and Uber Eats seem to be pretty much on par with how they always are. Okay. So them I have not had a problem with. I haven't been on Spark for quite a while. I haven't tried them lately.
Yeah. I dropped, by the way, let's take a quick pause, and then if we can get through this 101. I also, Holly, just for you and I, we should be making notes of an episode we do that almost speaks to the already dumpling shoppers. Here's some things we don't, or how we feel about it, like the 30 days. Maybe what a better solution to that might be, or things like that even the company should probably hear. I mean, even though Joel and Ashley and those guys, we love them, they love us, doesn't mean we can't be honest with each other. We're all good people.
Well, it used to be 60 days, and then they switched it to 30.
Right. I just mean, like, kind of breaking down a lot of that. I've found that sometimes that helps the company even.
Oh, I mean, I'm all about constructive criticism. If I have it, I'll give it. I mean, I'm not shy about that.
But yeah, so it's I did want to plug something real quick. I dropped episode 234 of the audio podcast. Everybody knows I don't bring everyone over to here, but I will be bringing that one over to here later today. That's with Stephanie Vigil, who will be at the August 5th event. And you guys, you got to listen. You got to listen to this one. If you're a gig worker, I don't care. You got to listen to this one, because you're going to hear it's kind of like it's a conversation we had while I was in the car that I knew we were going to be having, and I was working, but we had it, and it's pretty raw. You're going to hear some things. So
you say you are, or you are not bringing that over?
I am. It's my audio podcast is making is creating a video, an MP4 or whatever right now.
Okay, great. I'll listen to that later. And okay. When did you talk to her? When is that?
This is from like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Because we were talking about we talk about the event too and why it's needed. But what I'm saying is there's some gems in there. You're going to hear some stuff that definitely you don't know already. And it's pretty straight talk.
So. All right. Yeah, I spent some time on the drivers' rights movement website and the change.org, and I'm making kind of another video to put out there that's basically a lot of just the stuff from the 2 websites, to just try and bring some more awareness for you guys and get people to go and sign the petition and write their legislators and all that. And I did send the letter that they already had filled out for me, but I am also going to write my own to all 3 people.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that's something else I found on the website. I can't remember which one it was. I think it's senate.gov or one of the government sites. And it tells you about when you're writing to a representative, like different tips and tricks on how to approach them to get the best results and stuff like that. So I think that would be really good to put out there too for people that, want to be involved. And
people, I think we're finding more and more every day. You'll hear in the podcast that we got Stephanie on the hunt too. She's potentially bringing some DoorDash people. She's potentially bringing Priola, the person from her own party who shot down the bill. It's a doozy, guys. It's like my normal runtime is about 50 minutes. This can blow your mind. And I cut off the end part of it because the end part of it we got into some stuff that cannot be shared yet at all.
Right.
But will be shared at the event, so be there. But that said, let's move into just kind of the basic, I think 101, like when you should do this, because then maybe you can cut up some shorts of this too, because get some attention on to the dumpling thing, so I'll play the dummy or I'll play the person that's not on the app but who's worked apps. I'll give you a couple. First scenario, hopefully you just tell me what I want to hear here. I've been doing apps for a month. I'm looking for a new app to add that will throw me bad offers. Should I sign up for Dumpling?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Now, I'm a gig worker for a year. I understand the ups and downs, the thrill of the ride, working different apps, multi-apping. I understand what's going on in my life. I accept the conditions of the gig economy, and I am working in them as they are right now. 1 year in, I'm noticing that these apps are slipping. And even if they appear to come back a little bit, they're always slipping in the big game. So I still want to remain in this space. I think I could pull some customers together. Should I come on to Dumpling?
That's the person that should sign up for Dumpling.
So when you start getting sick of the apps, or you're still into this, you think you like doing it, it's enjoyable, I don't even go to the flexibility as much anymore because we all know that, but you enjoy the flexibility, whatever the reason is that you like the gig economy and like working in it and can tolerate a bad day and make it up with a good day or whatever you need to do, whatever allows you to do that. Once you're to the point where if you are really in this industry, like you're really working it, you do want to break off and own your own business. I mean,
right. It doesn't matter what app, what DoorDash does or what Uber Eats does, or if they close down tomorrow or whatever, because then you have your own thing.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be grocery shopping. Yes, that's the basis of Dumpling, and that's where it kind of starts. But there's, different avenues that you can go into and kind of build whatever you want to do,
right,
as an independent person. If you decide you want a dog walk, there's a way you can figure out the app. And
where I was starting though was just Instacart and kind of maybe Shipt or something, maybe some DoorDash that does it. Like if you're doing grocery shopping and that's your priority thing,
right,
or whatever, you're doing a lot of it and you don't mind doing it, dump and you think you can scrape up 1 or 2 clients. Again, most of mine came from word of mouth. Holly had a different situation with hers, but most of mine came from word of mouth of an initial too. So once you think you can land a couple clients and you're okay doing shopping like Instacart, but you also know this is a ripoff, that's when it's time to step in. Go land a client or 2. Try it out. We have a code. What's the code?
Savvy 2023 or Rodeo.
No, just so SAVVY 2023.
Yes.
When you get to, and again, guys, it's not going to prompt you for it. You have to type it in. If you're signing up, there's a point where you actually have to type that in. There's not it's not going to say, did Savvy send you, or
right.
You're going to have to type that in. Savvy.
No. And we don't get anything for you signing up. That's just something they gave us so they can just kind of track who came from us, and just to give you something, so you don't have to pay the $29 fee. That's a monthly fee. You get that free for 60 days. And then the $19.99 setup fee, I believe you get for a penny, right? Or $1.
Yeah. I think, and that's not even, that's just, again, we've mentioned this, but that's just to make sure your credit card's valid. That's
right,
it.
right. They don't care about the penny or the dollar.
It's nothing about the penny. Funny fact too. It costs 1.5 cents to make a penny.
Nice. Good to know. Well, I will tell you something that I did learn the other day when I was doing my own order, that, when somebody places an order, they just hold $20 on their card, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
which actually, I was told by Mac that actually upset a customer of his, like a lot.
Why?
The ghost hold, I don't know why. Like he's like, why does it need to hold $20? He understood it, but Mac tried to explain it. I think he lost the client. Like, why isn't it just $1?
Yeah, I don't know why it's $20, but
because it's not like $20. Look, if Holly knows this too, a lot of times a dumpling shop is $300, $400, $500.
Right.
So I mean, like, what is $20 as compared to just one? Because some of these people do care. They don't want to see a $20 charge on their card.
Okay, I'm going to explain to you what it is, because I have so many different bank accounts, right? I've got my main one, then I've got, my Uber card and my Dasher Direct. So I've got money like everywhere all the time. And so when I did my shop, I used my Uber card because I'm like, I got like 30, $40 on there. I'll just use that because I just need a few things, no big deal. And I was going to pretty much zero out my service charge at the end. And anyway, so when they hold that $20, they do not apply that $20 to your order. So like if I have $40 my Uber account and they hold 20, I can't spend more than 20 total, because it's not going to use that held $20 also. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, like a double charge.
Yeah. So basically that hold is not available for me to use on my actual order, which it'll drop right off as soon as the order's done. But I just have to make sure that I'm only using the $20 I still have available, not the 40. So I also, because I happened to use my Uber card and only had a little bit of money on there. So
I would actually add a little to that, because I actually did. I'm glad we hit on this, because I actually did have a client say they didn't care. They just were aware of it. And if it didn't go away, they were going to, of course, take care of it. Right. But they noticed that after I did the shop, they went into their bank account to make sure it was proper, because this is their first it was their first or second time. They just wanted to make sure.
Right.
But the ghost charge was on there until whatever their flip time was for their bank, 7 p.m. local time here, Mountain.
Right.
At 7 p.m., the $20 went off and the other one stayed. But when I did the shop at 11 a.m., from 11 to 7, there was a ghost charge of $20 on there. So it didn't go right away.
Right. And it depends on what card you use. So like if I used my Regions card, my regular bank, that would be the same way for me. And I've had that happen at gas stations where they'll hold $100 on there. And I'm like, hello, you can't hold $100 on my card, jerks.
I've had Airbnbs do it where they charge me the entire amount up front, but like they have to send you the bill first. So you hold it. When you hit hold, it holds like 200. And then there's like a 200 charge on there. Plus I just spent $600 on an Airbnb. So I'm like at $800 when it makes you freak out for a minute, but as long as you're aware of it, and that you agreed to that, and it doesn't go away, if it doesn't go away that night after the charges happens, you call your bank immediately. And
it can be a problem when you're doing a rental car or something like that, where they're holding a security deposit, if you've only got a certain amount for vacation, then that kind of cuts. So you do definitely have to be aware. But anyway, so if I use Regions, it does take probably till the next day. And then, if I use my Uber or my Dasher Direct, actually, I think there's only one of those they won't let me use. I can't remember. I think it's the Dasher one. But if I use Uber, it dropped right off immediately. So I was okay on that one.
So Bud Soda said, so there's 2 pending charges, ? So I don't know. One's not pending. I mean, I guess it is. It's sitting in your pending, but it's processed.
Right. There would be one that just goes through, and then there would be, but yes, if it's a regular bank, like Regions, Bank of America, regular type of a bank, then yes, you'll have, say, your groceries were 150 with your service charge and all that. You'd have that plus the $20 hold until the next morning, probably.
Wait a second. So if I have a client, because I do get this, I'm just curious what happens because they haven't told me about this yet. So if I have a client who wants me to do a delivery Wednesday and puts it in Monday night, does the pending $20 actually go through?
No, it would stay in their pending.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've had stuff sit in my pending for days before.
No, for some reason, I'd never thought about that.
No, as soon as they place the order, it's going to hold that $20, but it'll just sit there in the pending until something else happens or a certain amount of time goes by and it just goes away.
Right. I mean, which means like if you guys on a debit card and stuff, it's going to remove it from your balance. I mean,
yes. But like I said, that Uber card, it did go right back as soon as my transaction went through. Came right back on my card. But I know Regions is not that way, so everybody's going to be different.
So okay, now we've established that I might be a candidate for Dumpling. Yay! And I've used the Savvy SAVVY 2023 code. So I've got how much time? 3?
You have 60 days.
I got 2 months to give it a shot at no charge. And even if I got a client or two after the 60 days, I could probably afford that monthly charge for another month or two at least just to see. But again, you got 60 days to make a go of it. I mean, if you go hard out of the gate and you land 3 clients, you'll see already how it's going to pay for itself easy and then some.
Well, and you're paying less in credit card fees because we do pay a small amount with the transaction for using the Boss card. Right. So,
you can even, to be honest, guys, you can even take the 5% away from the customer. Again, here we are in 101. So here, now I say to you, Holly, like, well, how does the pricing work? Or I mean, like for me, how do I tell my customers what I charge or what it charges, or how does that work? Do I make it up myself?
Yes, you set your own prices with Dumpling.
Okay.
So you can charge them whatever you want. Dumpling suggests not going over 25%, and so they suggest a 15% of the grocery total or $15, whichever is greater. However, you can set it however you want to do it, and that would be very specific to your market, I would think. And in the beginning, I would not overcharge because you're new to Dumpling and you want to get your feet wet and become established before you come in with some high price.
Right, but you also don't want to switch your prices around. I've done this. Often. I can say like, and luckily I was playing with mine when I only had one client, a lot. I've only switched it once since I've had the 5 I have total. And I think I only had 4 when I switched it. But to be honest, I've moved it around a lot.
Yeah, I switched it a couple of times, but I just lowered it.
Yeah. So I'm at what Holly just suggested, to be honest. I'm at what somebody would see is 15% of the totals, or I'm sorry, 15% or a minimum $15. So if they order $50 worth of groceries, I'm still getting $15. That's going to be my minimum.
I made my minimum at 25 to protect me. I'm at 15% or a minimum of 25 just to protect me from the small orders. And I think, again, that is going to depend on your market because where I live, it's a very big town. So it could take me quite a while, depending on where they live, and to go to the store and all that. I'm fighting the traffic, and this is a big area. Now, if I was back in my hometown of Illinois that I was just in, I wouldn't have to charge that much because I can get things done a lot quicker there. So
fair enough. But
you may want to decide.
Well, the reason I do it is because I kind of talk to my customers enough where I'm almost like, but don't abuse that. Don't make me go out for $5 worth of stuff, even though you got to pay me 15. Don't do that, because this is a whole ordeal. I don't know. I feel like I could add, and that's another thing. You can add or give credit back to something. Like if it took you way longer and you even knew it was kind of your fault and you were slow on it, you can give them a credit on the balance. You really are your own boss. But I would tell my customers up front, maybe if they started doing that more than once, because not one of them has abused it. Every time I do an order, it's easily $200 plus. Nobody's ever sent me out for less. And if they do, it's because they're adding other stops, which is a whole nother thing. So like, maybe they have me going to get their groceries, and then they have me going to get a couple other things from a Sprouts and a couple other things from a PetSmart. Well, that's why I have a 15 minimum on each. So I'm getting $45 for the 3 stops, but I'm going to get 15% on the grocery bill.
Well, unless, if you're going to PetSmart, they may have a big order there and you may go over your 15 minimum there.
Right.
But
it's the same thing. I do the same thing though. $100.
But some people don't charge for each stop. I have seen where some shoppers
will
say, hey, you have, okay, if this is your 2-hour block, that's your 2-hour block. So they will go and do whatever they need to do. Now, I don't charge if I'm going to Publix for somebody and they're out of stock on some things and I decide to pop into another Publix. I never charge anybody for that because that's my own decision to do that. We're going to different stores, but I always give them a break. I never would charge full price on the second or third store.
Well, and that's what I'm saying though. I do want it that way. So again, just to protect myself, because I can always credit it, which I've tried to do, and then they just over tip me. So I let it show that it's 15 per stop. Let's say they spend 100 at each one. So it's $45 for me for an hour and a half of work. And now I'm like, damn it, I went to 3 places, only got this. Hopefully they'll tip me. And I end up knocking 2 of the places off. I'll still end up making $80-$90.
Right.
Like at that point, they're just like, dude, thank you. Because it's good for them to see you knocking the money off. Like, oh, I'll knock those off for you.
Sorry. When you set up your Dumpling account also, you will see when you choose the stores that there are some preset tip amounts in there. You do not have to use those. You can X those out and choose your own percentages to put in there, and then choose which one of those you want it to default to, which doesn't mean that's what the one they're going to pick. I mean, they can pick whatever they want, but just to let you know, those are not, I don't use the preset ones, and you don't have to use those.
Yeah. No. In fact, that's one of the things that threw me over when I was pricing it out in Dumpling, was that it gives you like a warning. It's like, you've gone over 25%. And that's what I mean. I think this is before even you and I were talking about it. Yes. And I was like, wait, I can price it however I want though. What do you mean I'm going above 25%?
Well, I was over.
And I think it was just telling me like what I ended up learning anyway. And after asking Holly before we started this, just she confirmed it, just why would you be, now you're going to be up in the Instacart zone if you keep going.
Well, yeah, I was at 20% and then my default tip was at 15. So now I've lowered it to 15%, and at 15 actually I'm still over a little bit, but I don't think that they can say don't go over this, or this is where we recommend you to be, because again, I think it's market specific. You live in a big town, it takes you longer to do things or whatever. It's different than living in Podunk, Nebraska, where it takes you 10 minutes to get across town.
But let's take this moment to give accolades to Dumpling and Joel, and a little butt kissing too. No, but I mean, let's plug this a little bit, because you know what? I think part of the reason is that he finds 25% overall. Just to be fair, we're using in-store pricing, which the apps don't do. We're actually using in-store pricing. People can use their digital coupons. Here in Colorado, when I get a King Super shop, we have gas stations at King Super, so they get points for every bit of groceries they buy. So I'm getting them gas points. I'm giving them digital coupons. I'm giving them everything just by typing in their phone number when I check out.
Right. And I've only had one client that asked me to use her phone number. I don't have anybody else that has cared.
I was going to say, I got 2, and the other 3 I use my own, because I get gas points for it.
Oh, see, we don't have gas points here, so that doesn't matter to me. I know when I go to Illinois, I know that when I shop at Kroger, they have gas points. So I always use my daughter's phone number there, because that's gets her gas points. So she probably just earned a whole buttload of gas points last week when I was there. But what I actually am going to do, just to save my clients money, and
oh, she froze again. Unfreeze. Yes, Bud Soda, I'm looking at your question while Holly's frozen. Holly, you are frozen. Yes, Bud Soda, you can pick the defaults. So you can set, I have mine set. The only thing is, and it makes sense, is they don't let you have like option 1, 2, or 3. And the only reason I would have even said such a thing is distance. Like if I have a client that I take 15 miles away as opposed to the one I got 1 mile away, would I not want to charge them a little bit different? Maybe, but they don't have that option because they don't want you being in the marketplace or like anybody even on social media commenting and saying, "Oh, I use Steve and I get this," and somebody else going, "Well, I use him too and I get this." Wait, what the heck? So you have to have a across the board default, but again, you can adjust it. You can add to it and you can take away from it. So if you have a customer and there's something specific, like if they wanted you to do grocery shopping and it's a mile away and you come up with your percentage, that's great. But if they want you to go to a farm supply store 30 miles north, you can get in there and adjust that and still add that supply store. That's another thing, guys, is that you can go Tony knows, Driven Dad's in here. Tony knows that 3 blocks from my house, there's this block of really good food, really pretty good restaurants for a little neighborhood area. And to be honest, uh, there's like a butcher over there. You can add that butcher in as a store that people can pick.
Okay, but you said so we need to wrap the if the total percent is over 30, then they say actually if it's over 25%, then they say, you are above the recommended.
Holly, you know you were frozen? Do you know this? Your bot sodaing.
I got it worked out, but spinning, so I don't know if you see me or if you're seeing him or either of us right now. So I apologize for this technical difficulty.
No, I think they were seeing.
There you are.
No, I think they were seeing me. You're overheating, okay. And you were bot sodaing for a while.
I knew when did I come back? Did you hear anything I said?
It all sounded like severe bot soda.
Okay. I was saying that I said they recommend, so if you're over 25% total, yours and your
you guys, you can, yeah, exactly. I think you guys, if you're hearing me, give a thumbs up. And if you are, we'll sign this off because I have about 3 minutes anyway till we have to cut this short, and then we'll pick it up again on the next one because there's this 101 is going to take a minute to get through. But okay, I think that we're frozen. So if Bud Soda, if you can put thumbs up if you're hearing me, but Holly's overheating because I'm only hearing digital static.
No, I'm not overheating. Can you not hear me?
Now I can, but until then I couldn't make out a single word you said.
Oh goodness. Okay, well, we'll get this worked out next time.
But I think this is good. We'll keep walking through the 101 because it's going to take 3 episodes.
Yeah, if you guys are watching this either in the live now or on the replay, please leave in the comments all the questions you have so I can write them down and we can get a running list and have the answers for you. Please.
And quick thing to you, Holly, when you upload our next live one, you should make a 2-minute clip of this one and the takeaways, because you can do it so that people that show up early to the link, it'll autoplay, just kind of doing a catch up. Because I think that way we can keep continuing 101 because this is important. This is what scares some of the people away.
Well, there's nothing to be scared of. Except if you.
But I'm telling you, I know a lot of people who are not like under their blanket afraid, but they're just not. They're like, "What? I don't get it." And I think this 101 is important. Even Bud Soda's like going, "Oh wait, you can do that." Like he's always in here with us. So obviously, this 101 is important.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, we apologize for our technical difficulties, and Steve. This is our second short episode. Let's do this again. Okay, you have yes. Steve. Oh, Steve. Okay, I guess Steve does have somewhere to be. All right, guys, we will see you in 2 weeks. Please leave us a message and let us know all the questions that you have, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye.